day 2. I can't believe it is already day 2. But it's lovely that you've rejoined me today. I'm just taking off my socks. So again, we've got 15 minutes just helping to support Mind the Charity and also our own mind. So it's going to be a bit of a different one to yesterday, where it's just going to all be on the back and doing some really nice stretches. So let's get to it. So we're just going to start off getting ourselves onto our back. So just being kind to ourselves, grabbing the backs of the thighs. We're slowly going to lower down inch by inch onto our backs. Bringing the head down onto the mat. And then we're just going to walk our feet up towards our bum with our hands down by the side. We're just going to see if we can just about graze the heels with our fingertips. And as we always do, we're just going to start off our practice just by taking those few moments just to settle into ourselves, settle into the body, settle into the moment. So pressing one hand onto the heart and one hand onto the belly. We're just going to pause, noticing our breath, noticing our own natural inhale and our exhale. If it's available to us, we're going to concentrate that breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. If you have any congestion or this doesn't feel comfortable, causes any anxiety, just breathing gently out through the mouth. Like I say, we accept our body where it is, not wanting it to be any different to how we are. And on the inhale, noticing how the hands move away from one another. And on the exhale, how they move back in towards one another. Noticing the rhythm of your own natural breath, like waves in the ocean, or the tide coming into the shore. Maybe using that exhale to let go of something that may no longer be serving you, something in the mind. Maybe old beliefs about yourself. Just offer them up with the exhale. We can now bring our hands down by our sides. We're going to start bringing a bit of movement into the body. So pressing down through all 4 corners of both feet. On the inhale, we're going to slowly peel those sit bones up off the mat, sending the hips up towards the ceiling, bring that chest up towards the chin, but then the chin trying to push away from the chest, coming into our bridge pose. And then exhale, we're slowly going to lower all the way back down, taking it nice and gently as we warm the body and the spine up. And we're going to do that again on the movement with the breath. So on the inhale, we start peeling those sit bones up, sending the hips up towards the sky. Imagine squeezing a block in between those front thighs and bringing some of the weight into the big toe mounds of the feet, bringing the chest all the way up. And then on the exhale, we're going to slowly lower that down, one vertebrae at a time. And this time, when the back gets close to the floor, just lifting up those heels, just noticing how this allows those extra few millimeters to come down. And then bring the heels back down onto the mat at the same time as the sit bones. We're going to go into a moving meditation now. So on the inhale, we're going to peel those sit bones up at the same time. Bring those arms all the way up and back. Just going to try and land them on the floor at the same time as our hips come to their highest point. Then on the exhale, start floating the hands all the way back down as we bring our sit bones back down onto the mat. Again, option to lift those heels at the very end if that's good for you. With all our yoga practice, we want the breath to guide, so it's only when we need to take that inhale, we start moving those hips, those arms all the way back, and see if we can land them at the very top of our inhale. And then when we need to exhale, start bringing the arms all the way down. Let's see if we can coordinate the hips landing and the hands landing at the same time at the very end of our exhale. So inhale, we're going to do that another couple of times. So something to keep the mind occupied and busy, allowing the breath to guide the movement, but at the same time we want the movement to the end, at the very top of the inhale and the very end of the exhale. We also want to see if we can coordinate the landing of the hips and the hands at the same time. So just doing one more round. And remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about setting that intention, being present in the body. And if the coordination isn't in there, we pass no judgment. We're just going to enjoy the journey, not the destination. And when you come to land with your hips back on the floor and the hands back either side, we're just going to walk the feet out to the widest edges of the mat. Then just allow the knees to knock in together with each other and bring the palms to face up. We're just going to settle here in our constructive rest pose. Maybe setting our intention for the day or for the week ahead. And when you're ready, you can start walking those feet back in line with the hips, and quick check-in. Just going to see if we can just graze those heels with the tips of our fingers. Inhale, send the left leg out long, pointing those 5 toes up towards the ceiling. Taking in a nice inhale. Then on the exhale, we're going to draw that right knee in towards the chest, interlacing the fingers in front of the shin or behind the thigh. Taking whichever option feels good for you, which means that your shoulders are still in contact with the earth. And this time we're going to make sure all 10 toes are pointing up towards the sky. Feeling that lovely stretch across the legs. Coming into Ekapada Apanasana, hinge relieving pose. Taking another breath in here. Then on the exhale, just allowing that right foot to find the floor once more, releasing the grasp. And we're going to swap legs. So inhale to draw the left knee up towards the sky, landing that left foot on the floor. And exhale to send the right leg out long, making sure those toes and the right foot are pointing up towards the sky. Taking in a beautiful inhale here, all the way to the belly. And then on the exhale, drawing that left knee in towards the chest, interlacing the fingers in front of the shin or behind that left thigh. Now we have all those lovely 10 toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Shoulders should be planted firmly along the ground, opening up that chest as we feel the nice stretch on the other side. Just going to take another couple more breaths here. And on the exhale, we can slowly lower that left foot back down onto the mat. Inhale to bring the right foot to join the left foot, both knees pointing up to the sky. Bring the hands down by the side. And once more, we're just going to see if we can just touch the heels with our toes. We're going to walk our feet out, maybe 1 foot distance apart from our hips. And then on the inhale, we're going to go back into that bridge pose again. So pressing firmly down into the big toe mounds. And the inhale, peeling the hips up off the mat. Bring the chest up towards the chin and bring the chin away from the chest. Inhale here. And then we're just going to send our hips ever so slightly over to the left, maybe 1 or 2 inches. And then on the exhale, slowly lower those sit bones back down towards the earth. When they finally make contact with the earth, we're just going to allow those knees to gently knock over to the right side, coming into a spinal twist. Inhale to open the arms up wide. And if you find that there's a bit too much of a gap between this leg and it feels uncomfortable, you can just grab a blanket or a jumper just to pop underneath. And then you can increase the stretch in your legs ever so slightly more if that's what you feel like your body needs today, by just bringing that right ankle to come on top of that left thigh, just to add that extra bit of weight. And again, making this practice your own, making this pose your own. You can keep your gaze up towards the ceiling, or you may choose to send your chin over towards that left side, sending your gaze over towards the left hand. Just remembering to take whichever version of the pose feels good for you and for your body. Maybe if you repeat this video because you like the stretches, then you may choose to take a different alternative because you've woken up and your body just needs different things. Taking in another breath in this pose. Then we're going to bring our gaze back up to the centre. We're going to unhook that right ankle. And then with the inhale, bringing that right hand to the outside of the right thigh. We're just going to help bring those knees back up to centre. And we're going to check it with the arms down by the side. We're going to just shift those hips so the spine comes back into line. And we're going to go again, just scraping the tops of the heels with the hands. And then walking the feet out just 1 foot distance apart, wider than the hip bones. We're going to do the same on the other side. To bring the hands nicely out the way, palms facing up. On the inhale, we're going to peel those hip bones up towards the sky. Coming into our bridge pose. So again, pressing into those big toe mounds of the feet. And then when you're ready, this time we're going to send the hips over slightly to the right, maybe 1 or 2 inches. And then the exhale, slowly lower them all the way down onto the mat. And when you find that your bum touches the mat, we're just going to allow those knees to knock over to the left side, coming into that nice gentle spinal twist. Again, taking the arms out wide. And if you find that that right shoulder is coming off the mat or coming off the floor, you can always bend that right elbow, placing the right hand onto the rib cage, just to keep that chest nice and open. And again, you can make this pose your own. You may want to increase the stretch by bringing that left ankle on top of the right thigh, just to add that bit of extra weight. And again, your choice of gaze, either up towards the ceiling or sending it over onto that right side. Listening to the dogs argue in the background. Again, this practice is always a reflection of real life. We don't have this perfect moments. And all we can do is try to do our best, following our intentions. Then inhale, we're going to send our gaze back up towards the sky and crossing the ankles. Bringing that left hand to the outside of the left thigh. And then on the inhale, bringing both knees back up towards the sky. We're going to bring the feet back in line with the hips this time. And taking in an inhale. And then on the exhale, we're going to draw both knees in towards the chest, interlacing the fingers either in front of the shins or behind the thighs. Again, whichever version feels good for you, allowing those shoulders to be propped against the floor. And again, option to stay here. Maybe your body needs stillness for this moment, or if it wants to continue with a bit of movement, you may want to rock from side to side, just giving your lower back a little massage. Or you may want to do some slight knee rotations one way and then the other. Again, whichever variation you take in, we're just going to land those feet back on the floor one more time. We're just going to do one final stretch just to end our practice today. So bringing the left ankle on top of the right thigh, we're going to flex that foot nicely. So we're making a nice 90-degree angle between the top of the foot and the shin bone. And then just allow that left leg to rotate out naturally. When you're ready, taking another inhale here. And then on the exhale, we're going to draw that right knee up towards the chest, and we're going to thread the hands through the thighs, the left hand through the thighs, and then interlace the hands either behind that right thigh, or the another variation is to interlace them in front of that right shin. But again, Your body will dictate which one is good for you, but in both situations we just want to make sure that the shoulders are still firmly on the ground, the chest is open, our breath is still nice and free, and we're still making sure that both the ankles are flexed nicely, making a nice 90-degree angle, just to help protect those knee joints. And we're going to remember to breathe here, checking in with the muscles on our face, making sure they're nice and relaxed. And then with the exhale, we're just going to allow that right foot to slowly find the mat. And then we're going to switch legs, so bringing the left foot down onto the mat. Quick check in with the hands and the heels, just making sure you can just about touch them. The feet are still in line with the hips. On your next inhale, we're going to bring that right ankle on top of the left thigh this time. And then flexing into that right foot. Taking in a nice inhale in through the nose all the way down to the belly. And then the exhale, drawing that left knee up towards the chest, threading that right hand through in between the thighs and interlacing the fingers either behind the left thigh or in front of that left shin. Again, helping to protect those knee joints by flexing the feet. And again, feeling which variation works for you. Interlacing either behind the thigh or in front of the shin. It gives slightly different stretches. And you're just going to pick the one that feels the best for you today. Taking in one more breath in this pose. And then on the exhale, allowing that left foot to find the floor once more. We're going to uncross the legs. Bring that right foot back down. We're going to walk the feet to the widest part of the mat. And just let the knees knock in together once more. Bring the shoulder blades in towards one another down the back. And we're just going to rest the arms about 45-degree angle away from the body, palms facing up. Just going to end the practice with that mindful awareness of our breath. Again, sending gratitude not only to our body for making it to our practice for the second day, but also our mind. Having that determination to make it back to the mat. Or maybe you're technically on day 3 or day 4 and you're just coming to this practice today. And again, it's about showing up. It's not about perfection. It's not about being able to do all 30 days consecutively. It's about just showing up when you can show up and accepting that that's where you are. And again, we're going to end our practice with our 4 soul intentions, and we're going to do it in our lovely constructive rest pose. So bringing one hand to the heart, one hand to the belly. We set our intention to have a joyful and energetic body. And bringing the bottom hand over the hand that's on the heart centre, we set our intention to have a loving and compassionate heart. Bring the hands out in front of us and the fingertips to touch, but the palms of the hands away from one another. And sending your attention to in between the eyebrows and slightly above. Setting ourselves the intention to have a clear, reflective and alert mind. Then finally bring the base of the hands together and opening the 3 middle fingers, creating our lotus bloom. And then just sending our focus to our energy field that surrounds the body. We set our final intention to have lightness of being. So we've finished our practice for day 2. That's got it out the way. Again, thank you very much for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you tomorrow if you can make it. Thank you.